Halo is created by Stephen Kane and Kyle Killen and stars Pablo Schreiber, Charlie Murphy, and Yurin Ha. Master Chief, a cybernetically enhanced super soldier, defends humanity from the alien covenant in the 26th century. Although I am not a gamer per se, and thus have never played any of the Halo games, I did think that Halo as a franchise did look cool when I was around middle school age, so oddly enough, I did do some research into this franchise just so that I could have conversations with my friends about it, even though I've never played the games. So going into Halo the series, I oddly knew some things about it. I'm not the biggest Halo fan, obviously, but I did know some things about it, enough to get relatively excited at the idea of a Halo TV series. Oh boy. The amount of disappointment that I felt with this series. Imagine what hardcore Halo fans must think of it, because I thought this was awful. Okay, maybe not awful per se, just really freaking disappointing. Alright, so what's good about the TV series? Well, for one, the effects. The CGI in this show looks incredible. While it doesn't look the most realistic 100% of the time, it does look really well done. Whether it's bringing the alien covenant to life, or traveling through space, or even just the backgrounds of some futuristic shots. The CGI in this show actually holds up to a lot of movie standards. I also did like some of the action sequences. The choreography could get creative at times, and especially the camera work with how we sometimes focus on the Master Chief and some of the Spartans' point of views during the fight sequences really did make it feel like you were playing the game, only, you were watching it. But it was still a really good experience. And by far, my favorite character in this entire show is Cortana. I honestly loved what they did with this character in this show. While she doesn't have the more dark and conflicted backstory as I understand the video games go into, what they do with her here is pretty good. The CGI used on her is somewhere in between human and just animated character, to the point where the uncanny valley actually does help make the character more unique. Add that along with the only good comedic quips in the entire show, and you have probably my favorite character in the entirety of season 1, and pretty much the only character in this entire show that I really cared about. And that does bring me to the downsides of the season, and God, there are many. Let's start with the characters. I didn't care about any of them. None of the characters have any personality in this entire show. They are literally just walking, talking machines of exposition just so that we can further the story along. They have no personality. There is barely any single jokes or any humanity spoken between any single one of them. As soon as we enter the season in just episode 1, it is made perfectly clear that character development isn't going to be the main focus of this season. It's just going to be how fast can we move the story along. And in that regard, they do not move the story fast at all, because we don't care about any of these characters in the slightest, and because most of them aren't even from the game, so I'm pretty sure even game fans are not going to be real pleased with them. Any interaction that they have with each other, even the more personal ones as you get to the later half of the season, you just don't care about. And because the actors have been acting so lifeless throughout the first half of the season, it's just spoken with the most monotone of voices the entire time, and it just goes so slow and you just don't care. And whenever the series is not butchering the characters that already exist from the game, like what they do to Master Chief, which I will not get into in fear of spoilers, they mainly focus on non-game related characters throughout the entire thing. So if the game fans were turned off when Master Chief was in the show, By God, I'm pretty sure half of them skipped most of the episodes where Master Chief and any of the in-game characters were not in the show, which is like 30% of the time. It's made all the worse when these characters, who you do not care about, who have absolutely no chemistry with each other in terms of the cast, are forced to act in romantic relationships with each other, which is just... And then there's this character, the Princess of Madrigal or whatever. Now, to be fair, I have nothing against the actress. It's the way that she's written. She is written as one of the most annoying, whiny characters I've seen in a while. Literally, she is just talking about how her father, her dead father, her father, who we as the audience got to know in just the first 5 minutes of the series before he was killed off. And throughout the rest of her run throughout the season, she's literally just saying, my father would do this, my father would do this. She's like Draco Malfoy, only she's meant to be a protagonist and you're meant to root for her. Add that along with world building that pretty much comes out of nowhere half the time, and randomly the most sci-fi of objects will be introduced into the series, even though most of the time it's more or less centered in a futuristic sort of reality instead of a straight up, oh my god, this is sci-fi, we're doing straight up holodeck from Star Trek sort of reality. And some of the most non-lively, monotone, cardboard acting you could possibly ask for, and you have yourself one of the biggest misfires in all of video game adaptation history. The season does have its strong points here and there. The CGI is really well done, the action sequences are cool from a technical standpoint, and Cortana is just the best. But the characters have no personality or humanity, the pacing is horribly slow, the actors have zero chemistry with each other, and the world building and character arcs often feel rushed and sporadic. You know this show is doomed to fail when you realize that the actual Halo theme is only played like 3 times throughout the entire season, and 2 of those times, it's pretty much just background noise. I'm going to give Halo Season 1 a C-. Well guys, thank you so much for watching, and let me know in the comments down below. Who's up for a reboot made by people who have actually played the games? Oh yeah, that's right. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are the best. And don't forget to click subscribe and click the bell icon down below to stay up to date on all things movie, all things TV, all things nerd.